Welcome to Explain America. I'm your host, Kyle Becker. The Biden shadow presidency. Who was actually running the show under the former president? Well, it looks like things are a lot worse than we thought because there's a new wrinkle in this Autopen scandal, and it is just bizarre because it looks like they found a second Autopen, and his pardons are looking more and more dubious by the day. But before we get into this story, please like, share, and comment Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, the DOJ official, Ed Martin, who has been tasked with being a pardon czar, so to speak, has been reviewing former President Joe Biden's so-called signatures on pardons and commutations. And his Justice Department actually red flagged thousands of last-minute Autopen pardons. This isn't the Trump administration. This is the Biden administration flagging them, wondering if they would hold up to legal scrutiny. So the case is building and building that these pardons and commutations and clemency, they could be thrown out in court, especially as Biden's own Department of Justice red flagged these signatures. And earlier this year, it was revealed Ed Martin was probing these pardons, and he found there was a second frequently used Autopen signature for Joe Biden's pardons and commutations. There is an Autopen A and an Autopen B, and they have slight differences in the signatures. Let's take a quick look at House Oversight Project's little video on this, and you'll get an idea of what we're talking about. So here's some numbers for you. The Biden White House issued 51 clemency warrants in 4 years. 4,245 people received clemency during the Biden administration. This includes 37 of the most brutal murderers on federal death row, a person who murdered 2 FBI agents, people who provided military support to Iran, Dr. Fauci, General Mark Milley, the J6 committee, members of the Biden crime family, and hundreds of drug dealers. And every warden in this group was signed with an Autopen. So here are the stats on the 51 warrants. 16 were signed with Autopen A. 16 were signed with Autopen B. 19 appear to be wet signed. So here's the deal with this. Why would you have Joe Biden's Autopen signature on these warrants, given that they're a major act? The president is expected under the U.S. Constitution to be present when these are signed. So this is not just something that the Trump administration brought up as questionable. The Biden administration also brought it up as questionable. So that proves that they knew what they were doing was wrong. So the president has to be the one who signs off on these documents. And President Joe Biden, there are some where it looked like he was in the Virgin Islands when these were signed. He was away from the White House. So there's really no good excuse for Joe Biden not to have signed these unless he wasn't the one making the decisions. Then you have the perfect explanation for all of it. And if you look at the way he was pushed out in the 2024 campaign, essentially a coup from inside the Democratic Party, well, it raises all sorts of questions. And this is building a great case in court to have some of these things thrown out. So let's hope we get that due process in the future. Well, weigh in with your thoughts on this story. We appreciate hearing from you, and thank you for watching Explain America.